All right, so I thought Tesla was going to have a little bounce here at this 120 area. So I've been talking about this for many, many moons, right? Beautiful reversal, evening star reversal, gap into the 288. As long as it stayed below 288, so this is a gorgeous swing short. Then it gapped down and turned into a trend short, went sideways beautifully. A bounce, couldn't even get into the 10-week, broke down, continued to break down. 166 was a nice fib level, 61.8. We bounced, couldn't even get anywhere close to the 10-week and rolled over. I said, if we broke 166, we're going to go down to 146. We did, and like very quickly. And then, okay, all right. Okay, this thing's serious. They're getting margin calls. It's end of year. They're going for it. So they sold right into that one. The fib level was 122. I basically said this is the 400 week. We would not be surprised if we overshoot it and then stabilize, much like we did with the 200 week. See how we overshot it and then came right back inside? Okay, so this should be some kind of support at this 400 week. Let me just get the figure. The 400 week is 125 and a half. All right, so I said 120 because I expected a little bit of an overshoot, and it's just a nice psychological level. Well, this is where we closed on Friday. Look at the low, 121. So buying like even a call spread, expecting a little mean reversion up to 130, 140, especially if you're Santa Claus rally minded, was very, very logical. Okay, but we're not there. We are literally dumping below that level. And unless we can get back, you can kind of see this, right? This line in the sand of 122. I don't know what's up, but the next price target's 90. And then after that, 50 area. So I have to put this on a bigger time frame because yes, it's a great trend short. Yes, it's a great swing short, but seriously, this is very, very strong support. Okay. And this breaks and stays below this December. We're going to have a cascade lower. This is just a horrific looking chart, despite how extended this is. And like I said, normally we get a little extended, we have a bounce back, right? So even if it's a little bounce or a bigger bounce, and then everyone gets all excited, here's that 21. That's your mean right here. Literally the mean is about 160. On a monthly, it's way the heck up about 230. But on a weekly, which is my favorite, this is definitely the 180 area, right back up to this, mess, this 170, 180 area. So if we happen to right here, right now, because we've already obviously taken out my price target, remember the 120, that's why. This is massive support. Can't even tell you. This is massive support right here. So if we bounce, I would not be surprised. Then I think we're going to have a pretty sizable reversion here. 132 this week, possibly more if Santa comes to town. But if we break on this monthly, in other words, December, we close below 120, something's up. And it's going to be VIX because that's a big break. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, there is still nothing here. Big picture for anyone who's still trend or swing short. This is a nothing. There's nothing at risk here for staying short. It's completely quiet. And remember, oversold is bearish. It helps you to stay in the direction. And here's your daily, 5% down, very extended from the mean. There's no question. The only way that I have this fascination with this potential bounce here is because, and only because of the monthly. The monthly clearly right here, all the way back July of 2020, where we broke out. Then we had the blue wave. Remember that? This was also the 5-for-1 stock split, but it also happened to coincide with The Biden win, and then the Georgia runoff was expected, and all of that fiscal, money printing and stimulus. At the same time, we had the Pfizer vaccine. So this is all that massive consolidation moving higher. We've come and undone it. So look at this print. This is important. If we're going to close below here, we're going to have much more risk. Otherwise, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a little short covering. They start monetizing these puts into year end. I would not shorten the whole, but I can see your point, right? We've just had this continued bleed lower. I mentioned this to Michael. So I actually already closed 80% and left 20% runner because I really expect a bounce here. But that means I would miss the majority of this rollover if we break. So that's a really tough personal call. It's really how you manage risk. I still think this is busted and going lower as a trend trade, but as a swing price target, that was my price target. Literally 288 was a stop. 240 was press short. And I said it would get cut in half. It did. We're at 120 and then some. That to me, that's risk reward is that we could have a bounce. 115.40. So this is the pre-market area. We break that, we're heading down to about 110. You can see the support level here. We got two levels of support intraday. So we break this, we head down to 110. No, I think Tesla is blowing out for all the usual reasons. Sellers, big sellers of size are getting out. He's distracted. There's less demand. China trade war. There's all kinds of really good reasons. It's oversold, overbought relative PE is still ridiculous. And folks are looking for transition into vehicles that have higher yields and are safer. I forget, big buyer, big believer in Tesla actually admitted over the weekend that they had to sell like 5 billion or something very large. Regrettably, he said, couldn't hold on anymore. There's just some really solid selling. There's also a Swiss National Bank. There's what's the Japanese firm that owns a lot. Anyway, point is, no, I just think it's big institutional players that are selling. Yeah, Tesla's going to have a tough time staying below 116 if the rest of the market wants to bring it higher with Santa. So careful pressing short, because honestly, there's nothing here that is monthly support, just like we are with Tesla right now. Check out the Tesla, right? I am amazed how weak that is. So same idea. Here's monthly and here's the 400. That's a big deal. There should be a bounce. There is none. It's shocking how weak this is. Not even a little bounce.